Hi, welcome to Seth's Study YouTube channel. Let's draw a portrait using a pencil. So I have a little rectangle here, and what I'm trying to share with you is that there's the same space between the eyes of the length of an eye. And then about a length of an eye and a half is the length for the nose, but really it doesn't matter for that. I would say half of this would be where the mouth would be after you drew the nose, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put this right here, but it can be a little bit longer, and then a good length of the this portion to the chin. Those kind of change. So this would be about a third of the space. I made it a little bit smaller, and later on I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Go up, over, and down. So basically you're going to have a triangle at the end of the eyes. Use the eyebrows, round that off. Now this is going to be for the ridge of the nose. So you can kind of make an L or round this off, and this is the ball of the nose. So I'm kind of making an M here for the end of the nose. At the end of the eyes is the end for the nostrils, and then right underneath this is again another M, and it can be more pointy or it could be softer. It depends on the mouth, and the end of the mouth could be a little bit longer. You can decide how long you want that to be, but from the center of the eye you can find the end of the mouth, but it's on a slope, it's not flat. So right close to the eye socket or the eyes, draw a line for the temple, and then come out a little bit and then dip in. Now there's a lot of different jaws or styles of jaws, so you can go back and revisit that later. So you can change this line as much as you want. Look at a picture for some ideas too. Round this off if you want, flatten that. So I'm going to erase some of my extra lines that I don't need, and I'm going to get ready to do a little bit more detail. So the first thing I want to do is make the eyes a little bit bigger and make it dark for the top lid of the eyelid, and do an eyelid itself. And inside here I kind of see it like a crescent moon touching the top lid, but that's however you want to do it. Darken a little bit with the eyebrows, and darken this here, darken underneath the nose. These are the same places over and over and over again. I'm going to make dark between the lips right here. I might change that a little bit and then really start to shade. So the pupil is the darkest part, the eyelid is the darkest part, and then after that I'm going to start to add some more values. So this area here around the iris is pretty dark, and same with this side too. Great. So let's go ahead and shade the top lip, and then shade the side of the one side of the nose, and just go very gently as you start to add some graphite to your work. This is the eye sockets, and you want to put a bit of a value here. You also want to darken a little bit for the eyebrows and a little bit underneath the mouth. So this is where the cheek is. Everybody has a different type of cheek, so you can look at that as a picture for a resource, but it also kind of goes into a slope in this area. Shade on the iris. It is not white. It could be light, but it's not white. And then again, this is always dark here because there's some eyelashes there. Great. So if you want to draw some eyelashes, you can. I'm not going to do too many with this particular picture. Shade a little bit more where the lips are. And now I think I'm ready to take a tissue. Now if you have a blending stump, go ahead and use that. But in the beginning I like to use a tissue because it just kind of sculpts it and moves it around and puts it in places where there's more of a softer transition, which I like because then you get more values. And now you can erase some extra lines, and let's go back in. So if you have a 4B pencil, go ahead and start to use that. I just am using a pretty soft regular pencil, and I'm darkening the classic areas, which is going to be the dark on the lid, the pupil, and the iris, and now a little bit for the eyebrow. It does depend on the color of the eyes. And then the end of the eyes will be dark, and right here because it's in a socket. Great. So take your time, figure things out, look at a picture if you need one. And between the lips it's always dark, and then a little bit for the top of the lip here. Go ahead and shade that, and then also you're going to shade underneath the nose where the nostril is. You can change the shape, of course, shade this area because the nose does stick out, so you're going to have a lot of shading here. And just look at a picture, it really does help to get some ideas. I do shade a little bit later on the right side, but not a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead and revisit the jawline and see how I want the parameters of the face to look like. And then again, you can draw the neck and the temples. Great. So it really does frame the face to put something around the head, whether it's hair or a hat or just part of the head. Smooth this out using the tissue, and then you can go back in later. So again, I'm going to go back in with some details using the pencil and go back to shade it with the nose, and then I'm going to do a little bit on the right side, just a tiny bit. You can look at the picture, it might give you some more ideas if you have a picture of a face. That really does help. That's black and white. Great. So you can reshape the nostrils if you want to, and darken underneath the nose, underneath the lips. And yeah, then I want to do is shade it. If you have a blending stump, again, it's a little bit easier with the smaller areas. The end of the eye is always dark because it's red as a color, and just keep adding more values. I'm not looking at a picture, I'm actually kind of making this up. So this is just some landmarks of how to draw a portrait, how to get started doing a face. So thank you so much for tuning in, liking, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I hope you had some fun. Take care.